What up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to follow suit with all the past collabs, and what I mean by that is we're going to talk about our latest collab, Cellar with Shear Revival, in that because basically the stock's almost gone. I mean, we're down past 25% now. Basically within the first 16 hours we shoved out 75% of our stock, which thanks to you guys, thank you for all the support. And so now that we're kind of dwindling, I'm kind of more comfortable to kind of just showcase to you guys what it's all about, because then I don't really feel like I'm kind of pushing to sell this thing. It's just really showcasing you guys what we were trying to achieve and what performance to expect out of Cellar. And so this is it. This is Cellar. This is we were trying to basically create a clay pomade, something that was oil based to kind of retain that unique texture of an oil base and keep that resilience while allowing the clay to really provide more texture, dry it out, make it a lot more comfortable. And I mean, as some of you guys have known, kind of make it a more gym friendly pomade, because that's something I've gotten into. It's something I'm about to do right now after this review, and that's why I wanted to fit in this review and showcase you guys before and after, and kind of really present how I imagine, how we envision this product to be. But I'll go ahead and start off by looking at it up close. So this is it. This is Cellar clay pomade between as a collaboration between Shear Revival and myself, the Pomp. Basically, this is kind of inspired by Donnie Darko, one of our favorite cult classic movies. And Cellar pays homage to a certain quote from the movie. I'll let you guys look into that for more detail. But the image on the front is of an airplane. The airplane whose engine eventually crashed and caused the whole movie, blah blah blah. And what's really cool is now Shear Revival has moved on to this whole metallic label, which is unbelievably beautiful, especially exemplified by our Cellar label, and it's also beautiful on all the other new labels that he has. We have directions on one side, ingredients on the other. This is your standard amber glass 4-ounce jar, and so you know that you get a good amount of product, and it definitely is gonna last a while, especially that it's oil based. Opening it up, you have the product inside, which has this grayish, slightly tan, dark tint to it, and that's all natural. That's just the color of the clay. And with most clays, you'll notice a grayish or tannish brown tint, and that's typically denotes that it's just natural coloring. That's just obviously how clays are colored. But yeah, let's go ahead and start using it. The smell of this pomade is a lot more complex than any other home brewer. With the Shear Revival scents, you can always expect something very multi-dimensional. With old dudes, it's always very herbal, very spicy. With what else? Lockhart's, it's very there's a lot of different novelties, sometimes spice, sometimes lemon. But with Shear Revival, you always expect a very complicated, very multi-dimensional smell. And he's the only person that can use herbal essential oils while getting this strange complex cologne-esque smoothness to it. And that's what you get here. You get this herbalness up front, but it really lacks the bite. Has a little bit of freshness to it, but it just really smooths out. And honestly, that's as best as I can describe it. Me and him talked about this for a long time. I could not put a name to it, and I let him have full range on it because he does such a damn good job. And yeah, but anyways, selling it. So we used the Music or Misery formula as kind of a starting point, because that one has already a very it's an oil base, but it's unlike any other oil base. It's very firm, not greasy at all, and just works extremely well. And so I envisioned adding clay to it would be very simple, just a very easy thing to transition into. And logically, in theory, that makes a lot of sense, but of course actually implementing it was a lot harder. We actually went through many more revisions than we had expected. What was expected to be only a 1 month long formulation period ended up being a 9-10 month long thing. But of course, I mean, with all these revisions, all these changes, we're always headed in a better direction. So the more revisions we were willing to go through, the easier or the better the formula turned out. So what we get is something that kind of has the firmness, kind of the styling characteristics of the Music Misery as a base, but not the application or anything at all. So kind of it scoops out pretty easily. definitely still has like the waxiness of it when you scoop it out, but it smears very well. Still has a little bit of grip, but you really feel like the clay kind of like making things not as greasy, not as slick. Applying it to the hair, you guys know I'm also on the sensitive side when it comes to this, so you can always expect if it's easy for me, then it's very easy for you for the most part. And so we'll go with just one more scoop today. Obviously going to the gym right now, so obviously not trying to style something crazy and like super tight and like heavy, but rather just getting something that's nice, light, looks good, and also will stay soft during the day. And that's another big thing, is that we chose an oil base because for sure we can keep this like nice, awesome like malleability with the new water bases that don't dry. Like you can get something similar, but like those of them that stay like really malleable often for some reason get like oily out of nowhere. And so with this one, we can push the presence of the wax more, keeping it soft. And so like when you're working out, if it gets out of place, you can just swing it back. And it's not like other like clays, which are great for styling products, they get really like uncomfortable during the day. They get really dry. And so when you try to restyle it, it's actually really painful. For example, laterite cement clay, extremely painful to restyle. But yeah, so with that done, go ahead, still go through the same process of slicking everything back, making sure it's evenly distributed. So combing it through, obviously very easy, and go ahead, start styling it now. Alright, so I actually wanted to go ahead and stop the fast forwarding here just to show this to you guys before I actually start texturizing it. Another goal of Cellar Door was to actually make it really intuitive, really easy for like new people to clays to use, like kind of new users, because the idea is that with Prelude, it was definitely like you had to texturize it, like you had to go straight into it, and it was kind of difficult for people who weren't accustomed to that to kind of go into using right away. And so this one, you can style a normal pump if you really want to push it. You'll get a very, very like kind of like clean feeling, very dry feeling, and like neutral matte-ish type of finish. And so it's very intuitive to style with, because that's how I approach it. Anyways, I first style a normal pump, and then I come in and go ahead and texturize it with my fingers like afterwards. And that's how I choose to do it. And so what we see here is that like a product that like you'll notice like kind of there's like a grittiness as you run your comb through it, which I find very satisfying. One of my favorite parts about using clay, I mean, it has nothing to do with the real like styling it. It just feels really cool as you run your hands or your comb through it. There's like this grittiness, this like kind of cool feeling to it, and that's kind of a future a detail of this pomade I really wanted to be present, and so you'll definitely notice that. And like it has that music or misery bass, and so you'll still be able to get like really good height out of it. And that height's important because as you texturize, you do lose some of that height, and so it's important to get exceptional height and then sacrifice a little bit to get some extra texture. And that's what we see here. And so what kind of like overall, the consistency is like, it definitely feels similar to like the Baxter California clay, except it has like much more like grittiness to it, and we made sure the wax is a lot more present, and the hydrogenated castor oil really kind of distances itself away from like the petroleum, which has this nasty like sticky heavy feel to it. Overall it has like a medium like light-esque kind of weight. The strength is like definitely good. It's definitely on the firm side, I would say. The texture is definitely like you can get enough texture out of it, or you can kind of, it's a nice balance between slickness and texture. You can go either way, though obviously it's better if you push towards the texture and kind of take advantage of the fact that it is a clay pomade, but we wanted to make it intuitive for you to use, and so we definitely keep that versatility there for you. And that also keeps like the shine is then like a neutral matte. That also kind of lends onto the way it feels, not greasy at all, very clean feeling like oil-based pomade, and this does not change throughout the day. And overall the control kind of like goes on with that like kind of intuitiveness, which that it's very easy to use. So go ahead, go to the gym now, finish off the smoothie first, and then I'll head out and I'll see you guys in a few hours and we'll talk about, and I'll show you what it's like after like a workout and why how all our ideas like kind of collaborated into this. But peace out. Alright, I'm back, and straight up that was like 2 hours of lifting, full chest day plus PR'd on my 5x5 deadlift, so very solid lift day, and so a very good example of what happens after the gym with this product. And so while I was at the gym, very easy to just kind of like slick things back. If something gets messed up, then like just kind of easily rework it back, which is why we chose to use like an oil-based product, because it's more resilient, it doesn't get compromised by sweat, and also reworking it, it's always smooth. Even a waxy one, it's still very smooth. Now, if you wanted to get something comparable in water-based, it's very difficult to get something that's still smooth. It can get a little brutal. You can definitely get that strength, but the smoothness it's really hard to do that without like a lot of oils in the product. And also the clay keeps it nice, neutral. You don't still see any like shine at all. It's just nice, neutral, normal. This is how my hair would normally glisten, because I do have hair on the oily side. And yeah, so like endurance wise, like it's a clay, you're styling a textured hairstyle, and so that's gonna easily get messed up. There's no way around that. That's just the fact of it. It is a thicker product without being super heavy, so it does have like that resilience. It isn't easy to mess up, but I mean, if you're doing serious lifts, if you're running with it, like yes, you're definitely gonna like mess it up, which is why we purposely made it easy to kind of like put back with your hand. Now after the gym, you want to restyle with your comb, also very easy to still kind of recomb with, no settling of any kind. The wax is still there, and kind of what I was actually surprised about, I mean what I wanted, but what I was surprised that we were able to even achieve, was how much of the product is still available for you to restyle, and how similar it is to when you were first like styling it in the morning, because that's not easy to make out of any pomade, water-based or oil-based. There is definitely going to be significant sacrifice to the product performance throughout the day, whether it's being like evaporated, being like left behind on the bench, or like whatever it may be. You do lose significant amounts, and this one is surprising how much you actually can still work with. And so after the gym, go to the bathroom, like take a shower if you want, if you do sweat, and like you can rework it. That's the nice part. That's one of the biggest like things like we had in our mind when creating this product. And yeah, so also just to touch on a few other topics, greasiness, like no, it's an oil base, but the clay, like we really push the clay content like pretty hard in order for it to stay clean, no matter what even it gets on your hands. It's always nice and dry. What else I want to, like now rinsing it out, obviously it's an oil based product, and so take about 2 to 3 kind of like real like shampoo showers to kind of get it fully out. You'll definitely have like residue after the first shower, and it will be a waxy clay residue. It won't be like a greasy residue at all. It is pretty nice and will definitely help you style the next day. Or if you don't want it to kind of remain, then just put another product and it'll take 2 or 3 showers to get out. But essentially, like, yeah, like this is what we were seeking to achieve with Cellar Door. We were basically trying to get an oil-based clay that's better than like the Baxter clay, way more affordable. Like you get much more for like the amount of money you're paying, and also just styles better. Doesn't have that heavy, sticky, thick like petroleum feel, but has a clean yet oil-based like kind of characteristic, because it has the optimal character advantages of an oil base, but the clay really removes it, keeps it clean, keeps it reworkable. But yeah, so hope you guys, those of you who've already purchased the product, this is what I hope for you guys to expect to get out of the pomade. I hope you guys love it. By this point, there should probably be only a few left. If you still haven't, there might still be a chance for you to cop some, but Other than that, thank you for all the support, and hopefully we'll have more collabs in the future. Peace out, guys.